Hello there, welcome back to my channel, and yes, this is DCS. I have been mostly dormant now for coming up a year and a half. Taken a long break from gaming in general and DCS in particular. Just decided to start getting back into it, and I've bought a new graphics card. I've got a 4090 now, so this is kind of a test run for that.
Chief, turn on the ground power.
I did say I was going to put some video up.
Copy.
I plan to produce some multiplayer stuff, which I'd been flying recently.
Ground power is now on.
Thank you. But due to DCS's track recording being so abysmal, I had to abandon those flights, or the recordings of those flights, because the TRK system that DCS uses is so horrendous. We'll just do some startup while I'm yabbering away here. So yeah, I'm flying a single player mission in this flight today. Taking the Viggen up. I'm going to be flying the Viggen a bit more frequently in the next few weeks. Planning a liberation campaign with 54 Squadron, and we're also involved in a multiplayer custom campaign with 54 Squadron and Jagerschwader 53. So there will be some content coming. Look out for that. Let's get the engine roaring into life. Some fuel flow here. And then this is a single player mission, just as a final familiarisation flight, I guess we can call it. Also to let people know that I'm getting back into DCS. Oh, that sounds good. Right, we do have a cartridge, and I'm just going to quickly check whether my waypoints are set. It seems they might not be. I'll get that organised. Just check the cartridge is in. It is. Okay, we should be set now. I'm just going to cycle through my waypoints, check that I've got a bombing. Yep, no, I don't have a bombing point. So that B4 there needs to be M4. I'm just going to change that now too quickly. Okay, we'll just quickly check that that's correct. M4, good, okay. I've got rockets on board today. I'm going to switch over to close to my attack setup quite early. We'll get some exterior lights on. Close the canopy in a second. We'll get the ground power turned off.
Chief, turn off the ground power. Copy. Ground power is now off.
Looks like we're set to go. Close the canopy. And it looks like we're good to taxi out. On nav there. Everything is set. I'll just get my radio frequency for the airfield up. I'll just check that I've got the right radio frequency on right now. Oh, okay, I need Krail. Just try my special one. That's interesting. It looks like I might... Ah, there we go. 25205, I'm on the correct...
Infield 1-1. Request startup.
So I've already started up. I'm going to request it anyway. The reason I like doing this is just because I hate that...
1-1. Clear for startup. Wind 262 at 4 meters per second. Infield 1-1. Request taxi to runway.
I hate these menus that pop up automatically, so I try to clear those through before I taxi, because they look terrible on recordings as well. These...
Infield 1-1. Clear to taxi to runway 33.
Okay, we're going to taxi to runway 33. Let's go. No one else taxiing here. I know there aren't, because it's a single player mission anyway, but it's still always worth checking that no one's taxiing across your taxiway past your apron. I'll release the brakes, bit of power on, and away we go. Now it's actually quite difficult to maneuver this thing on the ground. Got to get that front wheel turned early. Doesn't have the best lock. I've also got a patch of condensation forming on my left VR headset eye here, the left lens, so I'm going to have to just take my headset off and give that a little wipe before we get airborne. I'll park up on the runway. Actually, I'll get my takeoff clearance first. Let's do this all properly.
Infield 1-1, request takeoff.
I may have to be on the runway before I do this. We'll find out in a second.
Infield 1-1, you are cleared for takeoff.
Cool.
Ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.63.
Alrighty ho, we've got clearance. Bit of power on again. Double check that the sky is clear over there. This is the Normandy map, by the way, for those who are wondering. I'm using the Creil airfield just outside Paris. It's one of the few airfields that are suitable for jets on this map because it has a huge, long concrete runway.
Infield 1-1, unable to clear for takeoff.
Yeah, alright. You just gave me clearance for takeoff a few seconds ago.
Infield
Now,
1-1, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.63.
okay, thank you. Right, I'm going to take my headset off for a second, clean this lens, back in, and off we go. Alright then. Let's go. Power on. Nose wheel forward. Oh, a bit sloppy there, just getting rolling, but we're okay now. Full afterburn. I need to get onto the nav setting on my computer quick. Yank back on the stick, bit aggressive, but we're fine. Quickly switch over to nav. I was already on nav. I was fine. I had it organised already. And we're clear. So we'll turn the lights off in a second. I want to get some good speed up here. Get myself pointed at the first waypoint. Lights off. There we go. We are now heading to waypoint 1. We're going to dip down into the river valley. That's good airspeed. Spring it off the afterburner. And we follow the river around. So this is one of the tributaries of the Seine, I believe. And we're going to fly down it until we hit the confluence with the Seine River itself. And I want to stay relatively low here. That bridge looks like it's been taken out. That's odd because that's part of the map. I think that bridge was submerged under the river there. It doesn't surprise me that this map is full of errors. It's an Ugra map after all. There we go. We're not going to be able to follow the river exactly because this aircraft simply doesn't have the maneuverability for it, and my airspeed combined with the sort of lack of maneuverability of the airframe is going to preclude being able to follow the river precisely, but we'll kind of jiggle along as we can. Oh, that was a little bit dangerous there. Just had to yank on the stick a bit. I'm almost doing everything with the roll here. I'm trying to avoid pulling back on the elevators too much and just trying to let the aircraft roll around these corners. Getting nice and low on top of those trees there over this bridge. Almost down into the river channel itself. Nice and low. Well, there's a pretty railway line there. The river takes a sharp bend into a sort of lake here. Getting slow. I'm going to need the afterburner to get my speed back up. And then we're approaching the confluence of the Seine right about now, I think. And then we'll make a left turn. So let's get lined up on this waypoint so that the nav computer does its job. Looks like we're 6 kilometers away from my waypoint. I'll stay in the river valley just a fraction longer. Another couple of lovely bridges. And off to the left. And there's my final waypoint coming up ahead. About 4 kilometers away. I'm going to head straight towards it. And in the distance, I think I can see... Yes, I can. Right, B3. Let's go up. I have to start climbing up now for my attack. I'm going to go on ANF. Those are set, those are set. As soon as I hit B3, we're going to be onto B4. Oh, I've passed B3. B4, weapons armed. I'm looking for a railway station. There she is. And I'm looking for a train. There's the train, okay. And my weapons are telling me it's time to fire. Okay, I think we hit the train and large parts of the railway station. Whoops. Now I'm going to get level, get down into these weeds a little bit here as we exit the target area, heading for waypoint 5. Now I need to come left through these chimneys and whatnot, the Parisian chimneys. We cross the river and we should be going left again onto my waypoint 6. So I've just been missing my waypoint slightly there, and I've gotten too high at this point as well. So my exit from the target wasn't great. Let's get the weapons system all tucked away again. I'm not sure I got all my rockets off either. Looks like my next waypoint coming up. Waypoint 7. Try and tuck down a little bit here. So probably got a little bit high coming off the target. That would have exposed me to SAMs and whatnot. Probably a lesson there in just making sure those exit waypoints are much further back, and if you don't overfly the ingress waypoint, or if the attack waypoint is too close to the target, then you tend to fly off course a little bit to line up on the target itself, and then you've got to kind of calibrate your nav system on the way out, which isn't ideal. Alright, we're following a railway line out now. Ah, there's a superb looking overbridge there over that railway line. Railway lines tend to be quite good because they're not as curvy, obviously, as rivers and roads, because obviously railway rolling stock can't use very windy rail infrastructure. It has to be rather straight than curvy for trains. And we're 20 k's out from home base. I'm going to leave the railway line here, start climbing up. 10 k's out. Now the airfield should be right in front of me. There it is, I think. Maybe not. Yes, there is the airfield just underneath me now. Right, let's slow this airplane down. We'll put a call in to the field.
In field 1-1, inbound.
I don't know if this airfield's got lights. We'll find out.
Field 1-1, fly heading 053, port 1-1, QFE 29.63, runway 15 to pattern altitude.
It says I should be using runway 15, but that's...
1-1, request landing.
It's actually the opposite direction to the wind setting for this mission. So I'm a bit disappointed that I think DCS has got the wind around the wrong way here. I'm going to now turn some lights on. Set landing mode on the aircraft, and let's see if the airfield lights have been turned on. No, they have not. It may be because this is the Normandy map, perhaps there are no airfield lights to use. So we're going to be landing on an unlit runway, which is fine with me. I extend quite far down the downwind when I'm in the Viggen. It really doesn't like tight base turns, and it doesn't like short approaches, just because it's quite tricky on the speed management, let's say. Although you can slam this thing down on the runway quite happily. You can kind of treat it like a carrier landing in some respects. It seems to be quite happy to plonk itself down. Gear coming down now. I'll put my air brakes out. I'm also going to engage the reverse thruster. Get rolled out on the runway. Speed's 400, bit quick. That'll bleed off. There's my threshold right there.
Field 1-1, check landing gear. Wind 262 at 4 meters per second. Runway 15.
Okay, I'm definitely approaching the wrong direction. Yeah, I am going. This is a downwind landing. So, despite the fact that I thought I set the wind in one direction, I've actually set it for the other. So I've incorrectly set the wind in this mission, but that's fine. I'm going to land the wrong way. 350. That's a good approach speed. Come over here. We'll just tiny flare. Still want the front wheel to land, and then push the nose wheel down. Get the aeroplane lined up in the center before we engage the reverse thrust. Everything nice and lined up. Slowly onto the reverse thrust, pushing the nose wheel forward. Pushing the nose wheel forward. Lovely. There we are, coming to a nice stop. Back off the thrust. Disengage the reverser. And we'll taxi over, find a park, and we'll have a cup of tea. So that mission, I guess we'll call it a smuggled goods train strike I have no idea why a government would use a strike aircraft to blow up a train on its own railway station. I think you would just send the police in and whatever, but hey, it's a game, right? We can come up with any kind of weird, unplausible scenario we want. I think we'll park in this hangar here. Oh, I hope there's enough turning circle here. Oh, that's tough. Now, I hope I haven't parked on the grass here, because if I have, I'm not going to be able to get this aircraft turned. Oh, yes, I am. I can get it turned. We're going to reverse in. This may be a 3-point turn coming up here. Oh no, the right hand side's okay. There we are, parked in the hangar. And there's a clock on the wall here, which that is telling the correct time. 5 to 6, that is about right. My clock in the cockpit says 5 to 6, holy moly. And the second hand is moving on that clock. I have never noticed that before in DCS. The clock in the hangars on the World War II map actually tells the correct time for the mission day. Holy moly, that's more than cosmetic. It's absolutely unnecessary for that clock to actually be telling the correct time. Amazing. Amazing little bit of detail. Oh, let's open the canopy. That brings an end to this training sortie, my refamiliarization. I'll go through a few shutdown procedures here, get the aircraft turned off and let the ground crews work their magic. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.